Hello and welcome. You are witnessing something that is history, right? This is history in the making. I am Dr. Tish McIver with TishTalk podcast, and I'm so super excited to have my friends. Let me just explain something to you. When I booked these two, I said, listen, I need someone to come that are homies, that are lovers, and that are friends, okay? These two individuals, they are lovers, they are business entrepreneurs, they are moguls in the city in Charlotte. But let me just tell you another thing. They are expanding their businesses. They're not just local. They're not just national. They're international. So sit back and relax, because on today, you will learn how you can be partners, not just in a marriage, but business partners. You're also going to learn how to balance. Life happens, right? But these two individuals, they are able to balance life. They are able to balance their businesses, and they're still able to give their marriage the fun and attention that it needs. So sit back and relax, and here we go. I am so excited. I'm sitting here with Herb and Felicia Gray. The infamous Herb and Felicia Gray. If you want to know anything about these guests today, we getting ready to spill the tea. So we could change the podcast. Instead of Tish Talk, we could say spill the tea.
Spill the
with
tea.
tea.
Talking Tish.
I want to make sure that I introduce this power couple. They are philanthropists. The word philanthropist, when you look it up in the dictionary, is someone who donates their time, someone who donates their money, someone who donates their skill to help improve the lives of others. And that's what you two do.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
I am grateful that you both came to be guests on my show.
Okay.
And Herb is Mr. CEO, Mr. North Carolina A&T, Aggie Pride,
Aggie Pride all day.
Psi Spring '89.
Right.
And I am going to make sure that Felicia gets her just due. But Felicia, Miss Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, let's get into it. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to tell me a little bit about what it means to be Herb and Felicia Gray, the Grays.
Wow. Do you want me to start or you want to start? Okay. If you're ever around us, Herb and I are equally balanced in a lot of ways. He, like you called out North Carolina A&T, that's where he went. I am a proud alum of Johnson C. Smith University. So let's just start there.
HBCU.
We have just the fundamentals. We both went to HBCUs. We grew up the same values, and we're both members of Divine Nine organization. So we are P&G affair. So just starting there, and then two, Herb and I like the same things. So, but we like the same things. Then there are other things that we don't like.
Okay.
So, but being that we have a lot in common, it makes it easy to be friends. And a lot of people use the cliche, that's my best friend.
Yes.
But it really isn't when you're married to a person that you love and respect, that you have a lot in common. Like sometimes, when I think about if something comes up and I hear something or I want to talk about something, he's always the first person I think about to call, because he is my person.
He's
my person. Yeah, he's my person.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you can see that pop through, right? I'm not just talking about through pictures, right? Because so many people will look at your pictures and say, oh, no, this is y'all in real life. Like, this is y'all in real life. Herb, let me ask you a question. Who is actually the visionary for your family?
I would say, a lot of it would be on me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. But, it's a lot of it. Hey, this is what I think I'm going to do. Boom, what do you think? Right, but my mind moves so much, man, that my vision, it's just so many things, right? So she's a sounding board of a lot of things, not just for what is the image or things we find important, but also what about my company, or what about those things, or if I'm getting I don't know, jackets or garments from my company. I might say, hey, does this look good? All those type of things. So it's a lot of those type of things.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good segue into the next thing I wanted to ask. We all know the saying, the man is the head of the household, right? Air quotes. But I want to add that the woman is the neck that turns the head. Can we agree to that?
Yeah, we can agree
You
with that.
just talked
yeah.
about how Felicia is the person who, if you are getting dressed for an event, y'all are always so fabulous.
Thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. You would go to her and say, hey, honey, how do I look? And you don't take that for granted because
No.
you want your spouse or your spice to come to you and ask those type of questions. So my next question to you, Felicia, we'll start with you. Where did y'all actually meet?
Okay, we met at an old-fashioned house party. It was
Not online.
Not online. Not.
But if somebody met love online, great.
Great.
But
Yeah,
they didn't have online when we were growing up.
you keep in mind we've been together for almost 25 years.
Right.
So when we met, it's 23 years. So when we met, that wasn't online. We actually met at a house party. A friend of our mutual friend that I had met one way and he had met another. It was actually one of his fraternity brothers was having a house party. I took my best friend.
Wow.
And when he walked in, she knew him. And she
Okay.
says, oh, hey, that Herb Gray. And he says, hi. Shout out to Carla Archie. And then, and so when he introduces, and that's how we met. We met at a house party. We were both invited to this party, and that's how we met.
Shout out to my guy, Vince Harris.
Vince Harris.
Wow. So that
Yeah.
love story, right? This edition is for the month of love, right? So that love story was the foundation. Herb, how did you know that Felicia was the one?
Honestly, man, a lot of people, probably romanticize and say that, but I just had no idea. I was just meeting somebody, right, who seemed pretty cool, right, and so I can't really say there was anything other than that, but over time, I think I used to have a cleaning service, just clean the Hornets Arena.
Okay.
So I'm pushing a garbage can and shit, and stuff.
You can
and
say
so,
what you
and
want to
stuff,
say.
and so she's working with her AK sisters. How they have those vendor booths, and we talked. A lot of times I watch people today, man, and anybody maybe could get with me today, but I'm saying by that time I was pushing a garbage can, right? You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
I
And then
do
the
understand.
first dinner we went to, I saw some on social media. These ladies said they couldn't go out with nobody else. They was taking them here, there,
That's
and there.
right. That
I'm
was
like,
trendy.
That's crazy, man. We were down there TGI Fridays, right?
Yeah.
I hadn't thought nothing of. But I think so many people put so many barriers around what their expectation of something should be
Yes.
that they can't even live life like they should live it, right?
Yeah.
And they don't allow themselves to grow with people.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, you talked about how you actually had the trash can and you had a business then. You've always been an entrepreneur. Talk to me about what that looks like. What did you want to grow up and be when you were a child?
I did want to be a business person. I got books. I used to read a lot of books on people who own businesses, magazines, just
Wow.
read, and try to figure things out. I was blessed. I was telling somebody recently, I had never thought about this. I graduated from A&T. I didn't graduate with a GPA that really would have got me hired anywhere. So
Tell the truth, bro.
Yeah, I just blessed for that. I had to get it, but I was fortunate enough. Some people from A&T connected me with this company, Atlanta, H.J. Russell Construction, and they're still really doing great things. And it just showed me how black people could maneuver around and philanthropic work,
Yes.
business work, hire people, and make things work. And so they were really just a roadmap for me. And from there, man, it was just hard work, trying to start my business.
I'm going to add on to what he
Please.
said because I've known him for so long. One of the advantages of having gone to HBCUs is the opportunities that they afford you. I know for me, I used to have this peep, and they would have us dress up and get ready to be interviewed and be corporate. So that I went that corporate route. But knowing that I've known my husband for so many years, one thing early on when we were just dating, he used to talk about going to Mr.
I
Dudley's
was about
house.
to say I left out Mr. Dudley.
You left off Mr. Dudley.
I was just about to
that
say
was
that.
one of the influencers for him wanting to be an entrepreneur is going to Mr. Dudley's house on Saturdays. He would have A&T students over to visit, and that was his. I think that was one of the influencers in his life
And
of
he
being
had
an
a book, and I
entrepreneur.
would read that. And so shout out to anybody in the Dudley family. I forgot, I almost left you.
used to go
but
get
see,
my
that's
hair
why-
done
That's
at
why. That's
Dudley.
why you got the other half here.
Yeah.
Right? That's why you got the other half who knows you, right?
Yeah.
And so-
You think about mentors, right? And this is so important. You think about you having a mentor at that age.
Right.
What's being lost right now is mentorship.
Right.
And this is an opportunity for you to talk about what all you're doing. What you're doing is just not taking care of your family. You're helping take care of the community. Once you take care of the community, you take care of your the nation. And once you take care of the nation, you take care of the world. I wanted to have you to talk about what that looks like. Felicia, before we got started, right? This is some behind the scenes, but before we got started, she said, do you not realize Herb may be in 3 to 4 cities in a week?
Right.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that. Let's talk about how many businesses you all have together. Felicia, you mentioned going the corporate route, but since you're the neck that turns the head, I'm asking how many businesses do y'all have together?
Yeah, so we own a chiropractic company called The Joint in College Park, Maryland. So we've been doing that now for a couple of years, and that's going well. And then, but I own a mental health care company called Life Enhancement Services. So we're in Washington, Dallas, Houston.
Go
and
Commanders.
Maryland. There you go, all day.
Okay.
And so we've been doing that for a while. So we're up to about 300 people work for us each and every day. And so you know, it is. While it is, I'd say it's kind of my company, but a lot of what I do daily, I leverage talking to Felicia about what do you think about this, or does this make sense? This is what we're trying to do type deal. And then, of course, as a business owner, if you don't have somebody, kind of with you, cheering you along, trying to help you out,
sir.
and trying to deal with things when things are difficult, you probably won't be able to make it.
You will not be able to make it. Felicia's your sounding board, and they actually have a love child, right? Bailey had a basketball game this morning,
Yeah,
so
Bailey.
thank you all for getting here. Bailey came. How did it feel when you learned that you were pregnant?
Well, for transparency, Bailey was planned. A lot of people don't realize Herb and I got married in our late 30s. We got married in our late 30s. Most people, by the time we got married, they were already married.
3 kids over here.
2 or 3 kids, and then other people were in their next stage of their marriages, either getting ready to prepare elementary age kids, or even some people were at the time were entering into the divorce phase. So when we got married, I became a mom at age 43.
Wow.
Yeah, I was 43 when I had Bailey, so that was planned.
Give me a high five.
Yeah, I had Bailey. When people say that and they say it, yeah, I was 43 when I had her. So most people, I joke. Some people say, I gave birth to my grandchild, because at the time I had Bailey, a lot of people were becoming grandmothers.
That's true.
So it's wonderful that we were ready for her. We had prayed for her, because we prayed for her and we planned for her, because when we first started dating, early on, we were scheduled to date, the one thing he always said, we knew that we wanted to be parents.
That's good.
Our journey to becoming parents just happened a decade later than once appears, but that was God's timing and God's plan, and he gave us this beautiful little girl named Bailey, who is just amazing. And it's funny, when we found out we were having a little girl, we just knew we were having a boy. Because everybody around us was having a boy. He had mapped out which school.
I had done this Mallet Creek. Hey, that's when Mallet Creek, when I done this, how do you get from here to there?
Yeah, we just knew that she'd be going and getting ready to go to Mallet Creek, and then
all of the things.
all of that. And so when we finally had a little girl, he does not drink beer, but that afternoon he went and had a beer. But God gave us a little girl that's his mini me.
Right.
She looks just.
That was my next
She-
question. Who
she-
does she look like, and who does she act like? Because I know her personally.
She acts more like me.
Right.
But
I agree.
she looks like him. And I'm gonna pick. I want to go back when we were talking about styling. When I am getting ready to get dressed, I run everything by him too. So I'll be like, okay, does this look okay? And Bailey is doing that as well. When he's in Houston, Dallas, or DC, I'm like, Bailey, come here. What do you think about this? So we actually we are now. She's coming into the fold as part of being the stylist, the Gray family stylist as well. So
The Grays family, listen, they are, when we were talking, they say, oh, we're just regular people. I say, no, y'all are not regular smegular by no stretch of the imagination. But what Herb say is we have goals. Can you talk to me a little bit about what's going on in 2025? We're in the first quarter of 2025. What we know that we just came off the holiday graze party. If you have never, now this podcast is going to reach millions, right? It'll go viral. If you have never been to a holiday soiree with the Grays, you are missing out. So talk to us about what's going on January, February, March. Let us in on what's going on and what y'all have planned in the next 3 months.
Well, after we tentatively working on the date and venue for the Great Holiday Ball. Actually, we are doing that right now in this quarter. One of the things we got going on is we launched the Gray collection. Well, this has always been the Gray Art collection. This has been his passion. But he's a passion art lover. And I like art as well. And so we merged that into it's one of our new passion projects, right? So we got that going on. The website www.thegraycollection.com, thegrayartcollection.com.
That's right.
And then
We'll
if you
put
want
that at the bottom of the screen.
and then you want to hear about the Great Holiday Ball. So that is one of the biggies because he's actually going to be on his first panel the week after this podcast, talking about art and being an art collector. So we got the art collection, and just raising our daughter. One of the big things, raising our daughter. We got a couple
So
things
black people
very-
collect art?
Yeah.
I think a couple of things too. One is my daughter. I think she's doing something for Chick-fil-A. But anyway, so but I said we're regular people, man. But anyway, so but one of the things happened to me about 2 weeks ago is that the Washington Wizards honored
That's
me
right.
At the beginning of the game. That was meaningful for my company, the Wizards, and the Washington D.C. They honor us on the mental health care services that we provide. And what I found in Washington, so many people have had to deal with things that I didn't have to deal with growing up from drug situation, things
Yes,
like that.
talk about that.
And so when you have that plus poverty and other things, it just makes servicing people, you have to have a really passion for it, right? Because these people are coming with a lot of things that
That's
they're dealing
right.
with, right? And so I was pleased with that. In a couple of weeks, a large organization in Texas is recognizing me as
That's
one of the
right.
top 50 black people in Texas. Surely they got
I'll
a
be there.
gazillion great people, right? But I'm thankful that they're doing that. And again, part of it is meaningful for me because of the work that we do. And I'm not a Texan guy, right? Let's
Right.
say
That's right.
We have
He
a
got on
house
his
there.
cowboy boots.
I
I
got
see
cowboy
that.
boots,
He
right?
came in
And so
stepping.
that's what I'm saying. And so, although we have a house there, we go there regularly. So we've learned to appreciate the people, appreciate the culture. And so that's what me and Felicia do. We're able to meet people and things of that nature. So we've had a few things that really made this year great, right?
Yes.
And as it relates to our family, we hope to, we more and more now we're trying to find ways to take time for ourselves, right?
That's good.
We used to run so hard trying to do this for that and do that for that. Now we like, we have to try to take time for ourselves.
We get older.
Yeah, and so my mother's not, in the best of health and other things. So we've got to have time for ourselves and then also have time for our people in our extended family that probably need us as well.
I'm so glad you said that because I'm also an author. TishTalk was birthed during a time where I wanted to write how to balance self, because you have to be accountable, right? You have to balance yourself. Happiness comes from self. You can't depend on Felicia to make you happy and vice versa. Self, family, your faith, and then the love. Love was at the end because the reason why I say that was important is because it is like a balancing act. And once you realize that no is an answer, it's a complete sentence, you can say no. But as an entrepreneur, you want to be there. You want to be there for so many people. Really, how much thought goes into you saying, I cannot add this to my plate? Because most time people who have high energy, most time people who are those who can manage a lot of tasks, if something is removed off your plate, you put something right back on. How do you balance that work-life balance?
I'll let Felicia start.
It's hard. It's hard. It's hard, but I work in information technology. A IT project manager, and there's a certain amount of capacity that one has, and prioritizing work. So if something comes in that's a high priority. We take a look at what is the capacity, what do we have in work now,
Write your notes down.
and then if that's the case, if you want this, we discuss with our business partners or what's the priority, then something else has to come off.
That's right.
So that's how you balance. In order to add something else may have to come off.
That's good,
And
Felicia.
if that's the case, then sometimes you'll have, well, I may just have to use his favorite term, I have to gut it up for a while, right? But we're minimizing that gutting it up because we are getting older and we want to be here 10, 15 years from now, because we're in a season now that you open up Facebook, we're seeing people getting sick
Talk
and
about
something,
that.
people are happening. So that too helps you prioritize because you got family, faith, that you want to be here 5 years from now and you want to have a certain quality of life. So that is also putting it in perspective, your priorities. That helps you balance priority. And for us, family and life enhancement services.
Yes,
life
come on,
enhancement
talk about
services, because life enhancement services is our livelihood. I work, but life enhancement services is our livelihood. And a lot of things, I'm gonna shout out and brag on my baby.
Come on.
Brag on my husband. A lot of people don't realize he has life enhancement services that is located in Washington, D.C., Houston, Texas, and Dallas. That is 3 major U.S. cities. 3 major U.S. cities. And he is responsible for the livelihood of over 300 people, because that's how many people his company employs. So that is a lot to carry.
It is.
A lot to carry, that knowing that you're responsible for their livelihood. People were able to purchase homes,
Thank you,
educate
God.
their children by being employees of this company. So that is a huge burden to bear that a lot of people don't realize. So when when people come at my husband with their dreams and aspirations, guys, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm gonna be the gatekeeper to him, because that's
As
mine.
you should be.
That's
Say it
mine.
again, that's yours.
That's he mine, and I am the gatekeeper, and he calms me down because I go into stop
Yeah, she
being
get
so
feisty.
excited. I do get feisty. Out of the two of us, you'll see, if you ever go to a party, I'm gonna be on the one to dance floor too. But you got to be the gate. You got.
She love to
I
dance.
agree. I'm going to be the gatekeeper to him, because at the end of the day, Tish, before we started, you asked the question, what does a typical day start
Yes.
like for us? Okay, a typical day, most days when we wake up and open our eyes up to start our day, I am opening up my eyes in Charlotte, getting ready, get my daughter ready and go to my job.
Yes.
And he is open his eyes up in another city.
city.
So a lot of times we don't open our eyes up, and we're not laying next to each other because we're spread out between the 2 cities.
That
So that's
takes a
number
lot,
one.
yeah.
That's number one that a lot of people don't realize. When we open
Sacrifice.
our eyes, we are not laying next to each other when we open our eyes. And so I got to say, da-da-da-da. And so he's responsible running, getting on and off those planes every
Yes.
day. So homegirl got to hold down the house.
Honey, I know your prayer life is like that. You have
I got to
to
hold the house, because I have to make sure that of everything that he has on the plate, I want to make sure our house and our daughter and what's happening with us is not something that he has to stress about. So I try to handle it before I bring it to him. When I bring it to him, it's really like, okay, Herb, I didn't, I'm done with it, because I need to make sure he knows that his family is okay. And so so he's able to go out there and hop on planes in these other cities where he didn't grow up.
Yeah.
He didn't grow up in the culture, and these cities are so different. So
Yeah.
that when you talk about priorities and life balances, that is a day in the life of the
The
Grays.
Grays. That is good information. I know we're going to wrap up in the next few moments. For this particular segment, I want to know this. Who's the saver and who's the spender?
Oh man, I
That's a loaded question.
I spend crazy.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. I
Oh,
spend crazy.
man.
Yeah.
I thought it would be Felicia.
But it's so crazy,
We
man.
both got
when I
spending
when I move around, man, a lot of people think it's Felicia, right?
Yeah,
but,
I did.
But really, man,
It's you. No, I believe it.
Like when I leave here, I got to try to lay by some artwork. I mean,
Yeah, I believe
it's
it.
always something, right?
Yeah.
But but at the same time, we don't. When I look at who's a spender, who's a saver, I think she is. But then I'm an entrepreneur; she's a corporate person,
Right.
So
That works
you,
well.
You got different makeups of people, period, right? So I might say, "Oh, Felicia, I'm gonna go out here and do this, do that, and the third, and then, but her shopping patterns are more, I would say, practical
Okay.
and stylish. Right?
Yeah.
I love them. Right? Mine be like, okay, I'm over here Gucci today. Let me just throw all this on the table. Now I be like, no, I can't do this. It's crazy, man. You know?
Or here, this is a blue and gold
That's
eagle
right.
that's flying around. I think I'm going to get that.
Right.
Whereas
That's right.
I'm like, oh, I like this jacket, and
Yeah.
I've been out looking online, and I'm going to grab this. So we're spenders, but he's a more elaborate spender. So yeah.
Opposites totally attract.
Because we're Capricorns and a Taurus, so we
Yeah.
like nice things.
Yes.
So he's
Oh
a-
my goodness. Capricorn. Shout out to Herb Gray, LaHarry Jones, Ebony Jones, and Raina Jones. Y'all all share the
Okay,
same
same
birthday,
day.
and
Same
we are all
birthday,
Aggies.
man.
We all went to A&T. But I will say this. Javon and I, my husband and I, we're opposite, right? Opposites attract.
Yeah.
And we're opposite because he is the saver and I'm a spender. The one thing I want to say is, how in the world do you teach Bailey what to look for? Because opposites do attract.
You know what?
Because I'm teaching my 7 children
Right.
how to look for a mate. But how do you teach her?
Well, you know what? We used to work. We started off doing the Gray Classic, which was with the 100 Black Men, and out of that, guys, that was a 4-day weekend of events. And one of the black men, 100 Black Men, will have a saying that Brian Willis would say a lot: "They will be what they see."
Oh, that's good.
So
That's good.
so
They will be, say that slow.
They will be what they see. So if Bailey, Bailey sees mommy and daddy working hard.
That's right.
She sees her daddy, and then she sees mommy. So our goal is to teach her by being good examples for her. So
examples.
even when we kiss, we're like, baby, look, we're kissing. So
Oh,
she
my
can see.
goodness. They
So-
came in kissing in the studio, y'all. It was so
There you
perfect.
go.
so if she sees daddy coming in and kissing mommy, and then
That's what she expects her
That's what
husband
she.
to do.
That's what she
Absolutely.
expects her husband. And then when Bailey sees on the day mommy cooking dinner for mommy, what we having for dinner? Let's go. I'm gonna go get daddy because dinner is ready and you have fixed dinner.
And I'll tell you another thing that we do, you know, and this don't get on Instagram, like say washing dishes, stuff like that, shit like that, right? Be like, I know they don't do stuff like that. Like I said, we just regular people,
Yeah.
right? But we
They're
don't,
not
we
regular,
don't,
smegular people.
We don't have a lot of maids in service. But anyway, so I try to wash dishes, and I said, Bill, use your day, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it
Chores.
won't be like she won't see a man doing certain things, right? And it's only men can do this.
That's
only women
good.
can do that, right? I always try to do that because I say I grew up in a single family home, so you know we had to just do right.
Yeah.
It was just me and mother. But in doing that, I don't want her in the mindset that if she marries somebody, say, "Oh, that's just a woman's job." over
That's
there."
good,
You
Herb.
get what I'm trying to say?
I do.
Or you know, things like that. So I always try to jump in there and help her out.
Things have changed so much.
They have,
Yeah.
because I would say one thing about Bailey. If you talk to Bailey in one day, right before we came here, she had her basketball game, and I had gone into the room and she says, "Mommy, I'm gonna make my omelet." She'll get up, fix her omelet.
Responsibility. That's
She
good.
she
You
will
teach
cook,
them.
and guys, she's 10.
Wow.
She will cook her omelet on that gas range and know what she make it. Or she's like, "Mommy, the other night I'm hungry, but I think I want to make something." And then if you ask her what she wants to do, she's already figuring out what company. She's already gave an idea and a concept for a company she
major.
wants to start. And if you ask her what she's going to do when she grow up, she says, "Mommy, I'm going to be CEO of Life Enhancement Services." So we have a
Legacy.
daughter. So we have a daughter that knows that she will cook.
Yes.
She has housework that she has to do, and she will be CEO. So we're teaching her it's okay to cook, ladies.
Yes.
Because you got to eat. Because if you eat out too much, you'll
Gonna gain weight. Your money gonna be gone. All that
and
money looking
from
real
a
funny.
nutritionist perspective, because she came in and says, "I want my fruit," and she made her omelet. And she's working on how she will be CEO of a company. So with that being said, we're trying to teach her traditional roles and non-traditional roles, that there is no prescribed of what a woman can and cannot do and what the expectations are of a man. And then two, guys, you think about, we hear people saying, Tish, I know we're running over. Man, we run Bailey everywhere. Bailey's eating in fine dining.
That's right. You
but
got to
then-
expose them to that.
But then we take Bailey to McDonald's. because that's what Bailey's money pay for.
When we do community outreach events,
she's there too.
We want her to see it's all kind of people living all kind of ways, and you could be over here, or you could be over here.
That's right.
But everybody's just people who need help. So we always try to take Bailey out as much as we can whenever we do these community give back events.
Y'all are great role models, and I know for a fact that we gotta have a part 2. Well, can we agree to have a part 2? We have to do a part 2 because the love that you all share, you can feel it when y'all walked into the studio. You can feel it. Y'all love each other, and I wanted to have y'all on the show, so I thank you.
But we want to say thank you and thank you for doing this. It means a lot, and we're gonna get the dress code right. We're gonna have our red on.
We can't
Wait,
you the memo. Listen, real talk. We were
earrings and everything.
We were. Oh yeah, come on. We were texting back and forth because, like I said, Herb and Felicia are friends. But we were texting back and forth, and I don't count it robbery that you all took time out your busy schedule to come and be guests on my show. And I really, really wanted to make sure that I did the interview. We're going to do a second part. Everybody say part 2. Hold on for part 2 because part 2 has to come.
In part 2, and guys, I'm going to interview her.
She's going to
interview me. So we go switch it up, but we do appreciate it because we came in denim and boots and we came in denim and boots. But last night, one thing, guys, with what we do, the love we do, we hang out a lot together. When we're here, because last night when we hear this, we had gone to
went to a party.
We went to a party last night, which we do. We attend parties, but we throw parties, but we attend parties because, like I said, we have stuff in common. And when you go to a party with your man, it's a date.
Come on,
we get
Friday night
up.
date night.
Like, what you wearing, boo? I'm wearing this, and
on the second part of the interview, Felicia, when we do it. In my book, I talk about having goal friends, right? You want to make sure that your goal friends are accountable. You want to have date nights. If you have a friend that's not dating her husband, real talk, Tish talk, you don't want to lose your husband because you're not dating your husband because the same thing it took to get him is the same thing it takes to keep him. That's on part 2.
Tish
talk. So 30 seconds or less. If I can say thank you to my guests who are my special guests in the studio, I want to say thank you. Is it anything that you want us to know? 30 seconds or less. Herb, you go first.
Man, I would just say that first of all, when I joke and say we're regular people, we are, but at the same time, we're just love each other. We're glad to be in this marriage. We're glad to have the family, but we also are glad to have great friends, much like yourself, around us, because all that it takes, all that to make it work. So thank you so much.
Thank you for coming, Felicia. 30 seconds or less, because it's gonna be a.
It's gonna be so. I just want to say thank you for we have just truly been blessed for people who have supported us, who will pray for us. Even Tish, the whole family. I remember I started dating him and accepted. And then too,
we loved on her.
You love on us. And again, guys, not everybody love us, and we accept that. And so
girl, you spilling the tea. We talking about it next time because we got to talk about that, right? The love part, but then. If you know that people don't rock with you, what do you do? How do you, hold them accountable? And how do you hold yourselves accountable? The Bible says love your neighbor.
Love your neighbor.
Right?
And then, just like if you go in the restaurant, if it's something you don't like in the restaurant, you don't order it. So
stay away from it.
Yeah, you stay. But I just want to say that we have truly been blessed, and Herb and I are in awe of the support that we have and the blessings that we receive from just the whole world, what God's favor that He have on there. We love it, and thank you for having us on here. When I got the text, I was like, Herb, she wants us to build her podcast.
I did, and y'all responded, and I'm so excited because you never forget your first, right? Yeah. First is first. Yeah, so to have y'all on my podcast, the first in the beginning of the year, right? It's the new year, new quarter. Guys, I'm going to put everything that they have going on. Make sure you log in and follow them on all their social media platforms. Really, really quickly, give your social media platform, please, your Instagram or your Facebook.
I just keep it real. This is Herb Gray on Instagram and Herb Gray on Facebook. I would love to have said that it's something catchy, but it's just that.
Very good, Felicia. Your Instagram, Facebook?
Felicia Gray. Instagram and Facebook. Felicia Gray. We keep it simple.
And it tells you everything we're doing is right.
Right. And I'm Tisha Mack on IG and Dr. Locka Tisha McIver.
Put some respect on that. Say it one more time.
On my name. And all three of us are Presidential Lifetime Achiever Award winners. So congratulations to you. Congratulations to you. Thank you so very much. much. Have a blessed, wonderful, and
Thank you.
awesome day, guys.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.